Have you ever decided you were finally going to start something, a habit, a routine, a small change, and then felt this quiet resistance rise up almost immediately? Not panic, not fear, just a strange heaviness, like your brain already knows it's not going to happen. That moment can feel personal, like a flaw, but it's not. It's actually your mind doing something very specific. If you find this content interesting, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like it. Most advice about habits talk about motivation, discipline, or willpower, but your brain doesn't really run on those things. It runs on familiarity and predictability and known outcomes. And when you introduce a new habit, even a small one, your brain doesn't see growth, it sees uncertainty. And uncertainty requires energy. This is why starting something feels harder than continuing to do it. Once something is familiar, your brain relaxes, but at the beginning, everything feels exaggerated. The effort, the time, the possibility of failing. What looks like procrastination on the surface is often your brain quietly calculating whether this change is worth the cost. It's also why calling yourself lazy never really helps. Laziness is a moral judgment, not a description of what's happening. Your brain isn't refusing because it can't act, it's hesitating because action requires attention, and attention is one of the most expensive things you have. Even tiny habits come with invisible friction. Putting on workout clothes, opening a notebook, changing the rhythm of your day. Your mind notices every one of these shifts, even when you don't consciously register them. And each small point of friction stacks, quietly making the habit feel heavier than it logically should. There's also an identity question running in the background. Every time you try to start a habit, your brain asks, is this who we are now? And if that identity feels uncertain, unfinished, or aspirational, resistance increases. Not because you can't do it, but because becoming someone new is hard. This is where pressure often makes things worse. The more you tell yourself you should do something, the more your brain feels trapped. Pressure turns habits into tests. Most minds don't like being tested daily. They prefer experiments, not ultimatums. You might notice a familiar loop here. Planning feels good and thinking about starting feels productive, but acting feels impossible. That loop isn't failure, it's feedback. Your brain is showing you exactly where the friction lives, if you're willing to observe it instead of fighting it. But resistance isn't constant. There are moments, often quiet, low-pressure ones, when starting feels almost effortless. No hype, no self-talk, just movement. Those movements reveal something important. Your brain cooperates best when it doesn't feel judged. This is why forcing habits through motivation rarely works long-term. Force creates tension. Awareness creates space. When you start noticing how your mind resists instead of demanding that it stop, the relationship changes. You're no longer battling your thoughts, you're listening to them. Awareness doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't come with instant results, but it's powerful because it interrupts the automatic loop. The moment you notice yourself negotiating, delaying, or rationalizing, you train yourself to step out of the automation. Over time, those observations add up. You begin to recognize which habits feel threatening, which feel neutral, and which feel safe. That information is more useful than any productivity system because it's specific to how your mind works. So when starting a habit feels impossible, it's worth reframing the question. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me, you can ask, what is my brain trying to protect right now? That question alone softens resistance because it assumes logic instead of failure. Maybe starting habits isn't about overcoming your mind at all. Maybe it's about understanding it well enough to work with it. And when you see resistance not as a wall, but as a conversation, starting no longer feels impossible. It just feels quieter. And quiet beginnings tend to last longer than loud ones. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, please leave a like and subscribe and leave your thoughts and comments down below. I'll see you in the next one.